happy to have you here today. This morning we're going to do a really gentle movement, flow. I wanted to call it beginner's mind, but it's really about recovery. I have so many students that are really athletes and push it to the max again and again and again and again. And there are times where the body just says, wait, I really need to rest, but you still want to get on the mat. And so this is for you. This is that real recovery. I also have so many students who suffer with just getting over illness or scoliosis or coming back after a long interval of not really participating in self-care. We could be in any one of those boats and do this workout. This is, I don't even want to call it a workout. I just want to call it movement because that's exactly what it is. And so just sitting here, I'm actually starting already. I have my feet behind me, so I have a stretch at the tops of the feet. And I'm going to really get mindful about where that is. So if I level out my feet and draw my heels right under the ischial tuberosity, for me it's a very big stretch along peroneus at the lateral lower leg. It's that muscle that really gets used when you're in warrior 2 in yoga. It's a beautiful stretch. So I'm just opening the tibialis, the front of the lower leg, the front of the ankle, the bones, the top of the foot, and just sending those toes straight back. Then I'm just going to lean off of that and take my toes underneath. So now I'm sitting with my toes turned facing you. So the bottoms of the toes are stretching. We don't get that opening. We just shove our feet into shoes and take off and go. And so this is really important for the fascia. It's the bottom of the fascial line. And so it's always important to open the bottoms of those feet. I'll take another move and just tip back. So here I am in a relative squat. I'm going to go ahead and leave my fingers on the floor, sinking my heels back towards the floor, opening up the bottoms of the feet, creating mobility for the ankles, knees, and hips. So let's just come out. Back to that elevated foot where it's angled like this and the toes are pointing towards you. And then once again, all the way back to that flat foot. So sit there, take 3 breaths. Beautiful diaphragmatic breath. That means the belly rises and falls, and that exhale is a little bit longer. So you're drawing that diaphragm up and in. Inhale again. And one more time. Keep exhaling. And then turn the toes under one more time. It's not easy. You might not be very happy there. 3 breaths. One more. Got a tickle on my nose. Sorry, you guys. And then tip it back on the bottoms of the feet. I'll let my knees come apart this time. Really thinking about getting those heels down. I have some rods in my ankle, which makes the mobility more difficult, but I'm really wanting to get to the best that I can be in this place right here. All right, well done. You took your 3 breaths. So let's just come back onto hands and knees, and I'm going to turn to the side. Hands flat on the floor. Oh, back up. I think that's better. Hands flat on the floor, right underneath the shoulders, and the knees underneath the hips. And so just allow that belly to open towards the floor, pointing your tailbone up towards the top of the wall behind you, opening the sternum to the front wall, and then exhale, round the center of the spine, all the way up to the sky. Inhale again. This is a really, really beautiful way to move that spine. Exhale, round. This time I'm going to take it further. I'm going to look at my belly button and really expand width across the low back. Inhale, open the front of the body to the floor, towards the floor, and exhale the back of the body up towards the sky. Now we're just going to exaggerate this. Round and send the hips over the heels. Drop through to the elbows as you scoot through the arms, lifting up. So we're in a little bit more of an exaggerated arch. Draw that round up to the sky. Send the hips back. Feel the mobility for the hips. Feel the width in the low back. Drop the elbows down and scoot through. Round again. So now we're going to make it a circle. Flow through and back. Two more. Flow through and back. One more time. This time my elbows are all the way to the floor. I just scoot through. And now we'll reverse that. So we're going to come through round. Press the elbows down and arch our way back over the heels. Round up from back there. And down again. Oh. One more time. Sink through onto the elbows. Hold the arch and then round up. So I'm going to turn back towards you so that you can see the movement of my body from this angle. It's a barrel shape. So I'm taking it still in that movement of rounding up to the sky and letting the body reach down to the earth, but I'm taking it from side to side. Round. Scoop. One more. Oh. And all the way up center, big round up to the sky, and then drop it in the other direction. So I'm really reaching as far out to the side as I can, opening the ribs and finding that diaphragmatic breath. And one more, back to center and hold. I love to call this next move the Chanel logo. So we're going to do a C to the right side. So my chin looks over my shoulder. I'm looking towards my hip, and I'm sending my hip up towards my right shoulder. Back to the center, take it to the left. Same thing. You're going to feel a huge difference between the two sides. At least I do. Back to center, right C. Center, and the back is flat. It's not arched and it's not round. It's holding that center square. Center right one more time. Look, 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 look. Come to the center and over in the other direction. Just feel that length and come back to center. Round up. Sink your hips over your heels and settle into sort of a modified child. I'm just going to let my elbows come down, let the head drop, and just breathe there. Round up again. And you can stay where you are, but I'm going to turn so you can see me better. A flat back. So remember, we had a big arched spine, and this is the open front of the body where the spine is shortened. We're going to take it right in the middle into that beautiful long spine where the tailbone is pointing at the back wall and the crown of the head is pointing at the wall in front of you. And then just extend one leg behind you and take the opposite arm away. So opposite arm and leg. Work to keep those hips level and shoulders level. It's a beautiful balancing posture. Very, very, very simple to do. If you don't have that powerhouse strength, this can feel impossible, but all it takes is practice, and you'll find it. Come back to center. Let's go ahead and arch and round. Come back to flat back. Send the opposite leg behind you. Remember to keep those hips square and the opposite arm forward. Hips level, shoulders level. You're not reaching out from the body. You're literally pulling the scapula down the back and drawing that hip in to keep the body square. Use your breath. Exhale and release. Beautiful. How you doing? So let's take it down to the floor, onto the back. So these first few movements are the movements that I had you doing before going into the decline, the lumbar decline, so that you could warm up that lower body and really get some fluidity in the lower spine. And so the feet come in right in front of the hips and just send that tailbone up. You don't actually lift the pelvis off the floor yet. Exhale, roll the lower spine off the floor, but you're not moving the ribs off the floor. It's not bridge pose. It's a small movement, a lifting movement. Roll up. Still a beautiful diaphragmatic breath. Work that exhale, drawing that diaphragm up under the ribs. Do 2 more right there. Last one. Bring it up and now peel more vertebra off the floor, so your bottom has actually left the floor, but the back ribs about to the middle of thoracic are still pressing into the floor. So breathe right here. We've engaged hamstrings, quadriceps, adductors, rectus abdominis and transverse abdominis, both. See if you can lift just a little bit more. No pressure on the head, no pressure on the neck. We're not that high. Lift those glutes to really support that angle from the knees through the hips to the shoulders, and then roll down one vertebra at a time. Nice and easy landing. Let the body just hang out for a second. Now take the feet just a little bit apart. I'm going to take one knee down. Both knees actually have come across to the right side for me. It's a beautiful quadricep stretch, a real look towards that excuse me, hip flexor. I feel like I was going to sneeze. And then back to the center across and lower that opposite knee down. This can feel so, so soothing if you don't have something jacked, right? So take this slow. Take it mindfully. Breathe into those areas. Some of you, hypermobility can be a factor where you can just go and go and go and go and go. You don't have the strength that supports. So be mindful about how far you are going. If you're able to put that knee all the way on the floor and you feel nothing at all, then I would start looking at doing some more strength exercises. Reach across, and I'm going to take my right leg and weight my left leg. So a beautiful quad stretch, a little IT bend. You're coming up into that hip, upper gluteus minimus up at the top. So this is a gentle, very small rotation. Back to the center. I'm going to uncross that leg, take it in the other direction, and then use that, the bottom leg in this case, to anchor the right leg. And just the weight of that leg is going to give you an increased stretch. Feels good, doesn't it? Find your breath. Really find your breath. Now, as we sit here for just another moment, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. What's your mind saying? What stories is your mind telling you? I can't do this. This is really dumb. She annoys the shit out of me. Any of those things can be going on. But are they productive? Are they helpful? How about questions for yourself like, am I breathing? All the way back. Find both those feet on the floor. Roll that tailbone up to the knees again. It's going to feel different. You've allowed yourself to make some movements of strength and flexibility, creating mobility in those joints in the low back and the hip joints. Go ahead and roll back up. Check in with yourself. How different does that feel? Is it easier? I would say 100% for me. And then roll right back down and rest. Those of you that are recovering from illness or injury, how are you doing? Are you pushing too far? Is it just right? I just thought of the Three Bears. Is it too soft? Too hard? Just right? Take those arms wide, palms down, knees and ankles together, and the knees are in close to the chest. We're going to do a rotation. Remember, if you're having any kind of low back, disc, anything like that, you're going to make this much smaller, little tiny movements. Let those knees come across, opening through the anterior delt into the chest and back again. This is a beautiful movement. It's a stretch for real, but it's also a contraction to bring you back. So let's come back and forth a couple more times there. That feels so darn good. Easy does it. I promised you 30 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and check where we are. One more time. Time sure flies when you're having fun. One more right. And one more left. And I'm going to bring it back to the center. And hug. Oh. So the feet are apart. The knees are wide, and we're going to point that tailbone up. It's a completely different feeling. And lower it down. So remember, it's a scooping action, not just a lifting action. What we want is to have those upper back ribs really anchored into the floor as you lift the hips. On the last one, we can come up just a little bit higher, roll up and hold. This is the strength we need. Well, I know you know a lot of people who've lost all the power in their backside. Makes life much harder. We tend to stand on the front of our feet. We turn off the butt muscles, and things just change. And it takes time, but it keeps changing in the wrong direction. So it's up to us to remember that the body needs strength and mobility. I'm going to roll down one vertebra at a time. How did that feel? Did you have the power to stay there? Let's roll it up again. Lift and just hold. Remember, this particular class is about really moving gently, slowly, mindfully. Lift. Roll down again. We'll do it one more time. Let it really land. When the sacrum hits, there's a natural arch in the lumbar spine. That's perfectly that's perfect. That's exactly what we want when we're laying still. As we begin to roll that up, that lumbar reaches into the floor as the tail comes up. Hold. Take 3 breaths. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor. If you were watching me, you were seeing my foot roll out. That's what reminded me. Oh, and roll back down, 1 vertebra at a time. Bring those knees in. Let's go ahead and circle the sacrum. A lot of these things you saw us doing on the foam roller, this is just an easier version. Take it in the other direction. Now let's bring one knee into chest and extend the other leg. So this is a much gentler psoas, hip flexor stretch. I'm going to take the knee out to the corner, kind of under my armpit, back to the same shoulder, and then reaching with the opposite arm, bringing it towards the opposite shoulder, opening the IT band around into the hip and into the glute. Let's do that again. So the knee comes out a little to the outside of the shoulder, square into the shoulder, and then to the opposite shoulder, the other hand. Once again, out, right outside the shoulder, square into the shoulder, and to the opposite shoulder. Oh, that feels so damn good. Place that foot on the floor. Bring the opposite knee into the chest. So I like to wrap the fingers about an 1.5 to 2 inches below the kneecap. It's a perfect pull inward and downward towards the body, straightening the leg that had just been doing the other shoulder movements. Take that knee, feel the stretch in the psoas, right up under the ASIS. So hip flexor reaching all the way through the body to the lumbar spine. Bring that knee into the shoulder and across to the opposite shoulder. Bring it in again, nice and easy. Out, side the shoulder, right up to the shoulder. It's really not very big movements. Switch to the other hand and cross it. You're just pulling it gently towards the opposite shoulder. One more time. Outside the shoulder, notice I'm just changing my hands from one to the other. There's your basic straight onto the shoulder pull, and then take it across. Oh. Bring both knees in, circle the sacrum. Around again, the other direction. Bring the knees wide. I call that tuck it under the armpits. It's not getting there. You're not going there unless you have really long legs and a short torso. But it's in that direction. And then just relax. I'm going to roll over to my belly. I'm on my forearms. And the legs are straight behind me. So I'm anchoring the pubic bone into the mat without compressing the lumbar spine. So you think about anchoring the knees, the quadriceps, the space where the hip flexor is, where we were just working. And then just anchor the forearms down and lengthen the belly out so that the lumbar spine, the low back, does not compress. If you can't do this movement without feeling compression in your spine today, then don't do it. Just hang out, lay on the mat, and we'll be right back with you. So I'm going to let the body fall over my arms. Press the knees, the tops of the feet, the quadriceps, the low space in the pelvis, and then press into the forearms and lift and lengthen the belly. Release it all the way back down. We're going to do it one more time. Press the tops of the feet, the quadriceps, the ASIS, the low belly into the mat, and then just lift with the pressure into your forearms. Sort of lifting away from the body towards the wall in front of you. And then I'm going to take the body down onto the mat and just lay my head on the back of my hands and take one leg out to the side and just hang out. Beautiful opening into the hip. Take a couple of breaths there. And then let's just take that leg straight down. Woggle. I like the word woggle. Just rock from side to side across your low belly, pubic bone before you change to the other side. Change the head and just reach that knee out to the side. Take a few breaths there. Bring that leg back down, woggle the hips. Take your hands under your shoulders. And just like you were going to do a push-up, we're going to let that belly come off first so that the back doesn't arch. And bring it up, walk your knees in. I'm going to come around for a second and remember the child's pose where we're reaching the hips back towards the hips. It's modified. We're not going crazy here. We're not trying to get somewhere. We're just taking a pause. And then with the feet pointing back behind me to the back wall. And my heels right in my ischial tuberosity, right at the bones at the bottom of the bottom. I'm actually getting a tibialis stretch, a nice knee stretch. Does that feel different than it did when you started? And then we'll take that second position we were in where we turned the toes under and opened the bottoms of the feet. That may feel a lot different as well. And then just tip yourself into that squat, reaching the bottoms of the feet open, finding some balance. And if you can't, sit there like Kyra can't this morning, you can leave your fingers on the floor, but just work for that squat. Just work there. If this doesn't work for you, please don't worry about it. Don't do it. Try it for one breath the next time we're here. Try it later today. Try it tomorrow. Try it against a wall, or my favorite place is with a railing. I have a beautiful ballet bar we'll go to later, but a railing works really good. I'm just kind of massaging my way in. So that is our 30 minutes for today, and I'm so happy that you were here. I'm going to use my remote here, but I'm going to have to look at it. So thank you. Blessings.